Christy. First time on the channel. She is here this weekend. We are going wedding dress shopping. I'm so excited, but it also happens to be during Pantry Challenge. So we're going to cook up, bake a few things this evening to get started and make sure that everyone is well fed this weekend. Oh, and first a message from our sponsor. Tell us about our...
Oh, we have an entrepreneur friend who sent along some things from her business called Beads and Beyond, and this is a little chicken that she made that we're going to convert into a magnet for on the refrigerator here at Hannah's Homestead. But she also makes coasters for your desk or table, and her name is Avery. If anybody would like information about that, Hannah would have that for you, but she's just getting started in her business and we're very happy to support her and think her work is just lovely.
And how old's Avery?
Avery is 9.
We love an ambitious 9-year-old, so.
It reminds me of Hannah.
I wasn't that ambitious. All right, so for breakfast tomorrow, we're starting out here before our day of wedding dress shopping. We're going to make some muffins, which is what we'll mix up here, and then we're going to do one of my mom's favorite recipes, a crustless quiche. So for that, I got some zucchini from the garden out of the freezer, so this will be thawed by tomorrow, as well as some sausage we got off Flash Food. We'll cook that up tonight, so the quiche is really easy to put together tomorrow. We also got some sausage and beef out so that we can make up some meatballs, and we can either have those in the crock pot or ready to put in the oven when we get home. We don't work well hungry, so we need a plan to stay fed. Secondly, I don't know what we'll be doing for lunch tomorrow, but I got these tortillas from Azure out of the freezer, cooked up one of our chickens we grew in, or we raised in our backyard, and we're going to make kind of like a Fiesta chicken roll up. I'll put some salsa, cream cheese. It'll be like easy finger food to have in the car. So this is what we have to work through. But first we're gonna get started with some muffins. We're going to do orange cranberry and then some apple muffins as well.
1½ cups of all-purpose flour. I like those big bins you have, Hannah.
Me too, they're nice. They keep everything nice and fresh.
Hannah used to be my helper, but now I'm her helper. And she was a good helper.
A cup and a half of flour.
And 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
Do you know the difference between baking powder and baking soda? I don't.
I don't. I do not. It calls for 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 cup of milk.
All right, we're down to our last 1.5 gallons of milk.
And 1/4 cup of orange juice.
We got this open orange juice for muffins, and I think mimosas are in order for tomorrow. Okay, what's up next?
6 tablespoons unsalted butter softened. 3/4 cups of sugar. 2 large eggs. And we don't break those right into the bowl, just in case.
Just
in case there's a bad one, because it could happen. These are eggs right from Hannah's house.
And because I learned the hard way by putting a bad egg into a recipe.
I should say Hannah and Reno's house.
All right.
1½ cups of cranberries. And that's it.
All right, let's get our whisk.
I like this whisk too. Hannah got me one of these for Christmas.
All right, so we have the cranberry muffins mixed up. My mom's going to fill these up. These are little,
Mister.
These are little baking cups. My friend got them for me for Christmas.
How full would you say, Hannah?
The thing says fill them about halfway, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, what are these called? Baking plus snack cups.
I like them.
And it says food safe, freezer safe, oven safe to 375. So I think that answers our question. We're making them at 350. Fill cup halfway. Yeah, so about halfway. So she's going to work on those, and I am going to get the ingredients ready for our next batch of muffins, which will be apple. Okay, we have the muffin cups half full with the orange cranberry mixture. Next up, we're making some applesauce muffins. So let's hit it.
A cup of butter, or half a cup of butter, excuse me.
Oh yeah, this recipe called for too much, so we're halving it.
1 cup of sugar, 1 egg, which is half.
Look at how nice that egg looks.
Oh, it's pretty. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. 1 cup of applesauce.
So this applesauce we preserved here last year. We have the remnants of a jar that we had gotten out recently. My mom got me this spatula as a stocking stuffer, and it is perfect to get into these jars.
It was really Santa, not me.
Okay, so one thing that we're adding to this recipe is we're adding apples. So we're a little bit short here. I'm gonna top it with a little bit of homemade apple butter as well. So we topped it with a little bit of apple butter just to extend it.
2 cups of flour.
Okay, 2 cups of flour.
Half a teaspoon of baking soda.
Yeah, we wised up and got these 2-gallon buckets because we did have the 5-gallon buckets up here, and it is just a little too much to have in your upstairs.
And I'm gonna do what Hannah does and go, there's never too much cinnamon. Does that look good?
Maybe a little bit more.
Oh.
All right, what next?
Half a teaspoon of allspice.
Okay.
And it says a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, so it'd be half of that, so 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves.
It looks like that's about all we have. Okay.
And then that's it.
All right. I think you are up for the mixing.
Okay.
All right, we have the muffins in the oven, and now we're just going to do a little bit more prep work for tomorrow. We're going to get this sausage cooked up for our quiche. Styling bracelet by Avery. This isn't breakfast sausage, but I didn't really think
What
that
variety of sausage is it, Hannah?
It's just like sweet sausage. The Giant Eagle kind, I got it on Flash Food and packaged it up. It came in like big packages, and I packaged it up in little ones. Okay, so we have the sausage going for breakfast tomorrow. Next, I'm going to mix up a pound of ground beef and some more sausage. If you can't tell, we have a lot of this, to make some meatballs, so we have those ready to cook up when we get home from our day of shopping. All right, so we have the sausage in here as well as the ground beef. Now we're going to go in with 2 cloves of garlic. We're gonna do 2 eggs, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, and then making use of what we have. I oftentimes use some oats instead of breadcrumbs, so we'll just add some of those. Then it's time to, there's no other way to mix meatballs, right? Roll up your sleeves, take your jewelry off, and mix with your hands. Okay, so we have our meatballs made. We're just going to put them in the refrigerator. And then we have our sausage cooked up here. So we are just going to get that loaded into here. All right, she's checking.
A little gooey.
Little gooey. Do we want to turn it around, or the back one's getting done faster?
We'll turn it.
Okay, we have the sausage cooked up and put away. We have the meatballs made. The last thing we're going to do while we're waiting for the muffins is just get our chicken roll-ups together. So we're gonna start with a block of cream cheese. It has been sitting out, so it's soft. Next, we'll go in with some sour cream, all the good stuff. Then we'll go in with some shredded cheddar cheese. And then now we're going to get about 2 cups of shredded chicken in here from the chicken we cooked in the Instant Pot.
Muffins are done.
All right, now we're just gonna go in with some salsa. About half a jar. and then we're gonna mix it up. Okay, now we have this all mixed up. We are going to spread it on a tortilla, roll it up, put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then cut them up for pinwheels tomorrow. This is essentially like a taco version of a chicken salad. These are always a hit and really easy, kind of like finger food. And the thing is, you can eat that on a sandwich. You can eat this on a salad, the leftovers, or you can even put it on like nachos. Okay, so we're going to get these in the fridge to chill overnight. We'll slice them up tomorrow morning to take on the road with us for lunch. I think all we have to do is put a load of dishes in the dishwasher, and then we are ready for tomorrow morning. Good morning. We are back to make our crustless quiche, and it typically calls for Bisquick. You put Bisquick in and it kind of settles at the bottom and makes that crust, but we don't have Bisquick, so I'm going to follow a quick recipe online to make a cup of Bisquick here at home. Right, so the first ingredient is 1 cup of flour. Okay, then we have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. It says 1/4 teaspoon salt. So I'm just going to mix this all up together, and then the last ingredient is butter, and we'll go get that. We're gonna take our pastry blender and cut in 1 tablespoon of butter. The toppings in today's quiche are going to be the sausage we made together last night, this zucchini from the garden, as well as some shredded cheddar cheese. This zucchini has a lot of liquid on it since it's thawed, so I am going to go drain this off. All right, we have a greased pie pan. I went for a deep dish. I'm going to put my zucchini in here, break it up a little bit. Probably should have got 2 packs of this out. And we'll go in with our sausage. That probably looks good. And then we'll just finish it up with our cheese. All right, the topping step is done. The work we put in yesterday, I really made that a lot more simple. All right, here is where the magic happens, the Bisquick step. So we're gonna go in with 2 cups of milk. And then I'm going to start with 6 eggs. We can do more if we need them. All right, so there are our eggs. We're going to add our Bisquick mixture. We're gonna do salt and pepper. All right, we're going to press a couple cloves of garlic into this too. And then we're going to beat this together. Okay, now we're going to pour our mixture over top. Okay, that is ready for the oven. Okay, another dinner made by Reno tonight. We have lamb burgers. He mixed up some lamb we got from a local farmer with some spices, got them grilled up for us. We have some nice slices of tomato on here, our cowboy candy barbecue, and some cheddar cheese as well. My only contribution tonight was the leftover salad, as well as these hamburger buns. These hamburger buns are so easy. I follow the King Arthur recipe, which I will link below, but I'm super excited to dig into this, and we'll see it for dinner tomorrow. All right, tonight we're having pork chops for dinner. We already have Brussels sprouts and carrots roasting in the oven. I am going to get to the quinoa before we get to the pork chops, because those are going to cook the fastest. So the recipe I follow for quinoa is really simple. It is 1 part quinoa to 2 points liquid. If I have some chicken stock open, I'll use that, but I don't, so we'll just use water tonight. Okay, so we're just gonna bring that to a boil and then reduce it to a simmer until the quinoa has absorbed all the liquid. This is a fun new tricolor blend that we got in our last Azure order that I'm excited to try out. Okay, so we're just gonna get our pan heated up with a light drizzle of olive oil. I'm just gonna sear on both sides and then continue to roast the pork in the oven. I'm so excited about this new enameled cast iron. I picked this up at Marshall's yesterday. It was on like a super deal. I think it's a discontinued color, but we got it for $36 and the list price was well over $100, which is always a good find. So we'll let that heat up and let's get these seasoned. Now I did pat these dry already, so we're just gonna use a seasoning blend that we made together a few weeks ago. Some onion powder, salt, pepper, and some Italian seasoning. Okay, so we have the oil heated in our pan, so we're just going to sear these on each side for a couple of minutes. Our quinoa is boiling nicely over here. We'll get that covered with a lid. All right, let's get these flipped. Just go for a couple minutes on this side and then we'll put them in the oven. We have the oven on 375 for the veggies, so I think that'll be perfect. I think this pork will only have to go in for a few minutes. All right, we have a nice little sear on both sides, so we're going to put these in the oven. And let's check on our veggies. These definitely need some more time as well. I can never time dinner appropriately that everything finishes at one time, but tonight might just be the night. We have some of our berry balsamic glaze that we've used on a few dishes left over, so I'm just going to work on heating this up in the microwave. Okay, let's get this plated up here. We'll get our pork chop, some roasted veggies, and then finally some of this quinoa. All right, to season my quinoa, I am going to use this sofrito seasoning blend from Trader Joe's. It is just a bit of spice. It says minced onion, tomato flakes, sea salt, dried minced garlic, crushed chili peppers, parsley, red pepper, rosemary, sage leaves. It's delicious. So just put a little bit of that on there and mix that together. And then finally, go in with some of this balsamic berry glaze. All right, and there's our dinner for tonight. Okay, we're going with a quick dinner tonight. I'm gonna get some oil heated up there so we can saute up some veggies. We have our Fiber Gourmet Light Rotini. I have some water boiling, we'll get that started. Basically tonight we're just gonna do some light pasta, some leftover shredded chicken, some sauteed vegetables, and we'll season it all up. Okay, since we have the onion sauteing, we're going to get a couple of cloves of garlic added to that. And then I pulled some of our garden peppers from the freezer. These turned out so nicely. I think they froze great. All right, the other day we had some artichokes, like the remainder of a can of artichokes, and I put them in with the banana peppers and their juice that we canned them in. So I'm just going to pour this in. It's artichokes, banana peppers, and they're in that kind of like spicy brine. I'm going to pour that all into here. I think it'll bring a little bit of spice and some really nice flavor. Everything is cooking pretty well together in here, so now we're just going to add our chicken. This is not the right utensil for this. I don't think I'm pleased with the chicken to vegetable ratio, but I guess we're just going to be heavy on the protein tonight. Okay, we've drained our pasta. Rotini is a fun change. Oh, my stovetop needs cleaned so bad. Okay, and then we're going to season it with some Italian seasoning and some of our sofrito seasoning for a little bit more spice. Get that all mixed in. Okay, so we've had a pretty busy day, and this is going to be a nice one-pot meal. We have our carbs, we have our vegetables. It's always nice to get veggies in from the garden, and we have some of our shredded chicken. So that is a wrap on dinner tonight. All right, so we're gonna throw together a quick dinner here because we are going to the basketball game. So I wanna get a quick dinner together and also some snacks because sporting events typically just call for snacks and it's pantry challenge. So we will not be participating in snacking. So I'm going to get these onions chopped up and sauteed. All right, we're gonna get the cookies in the oven. Let's continue to work on our main dishes here. I have a pound of our grass-fed ground beef. think we're done with that. Look at how perfect these homemade pierogis are. I don't know if that's too bright, but I'm going to get these in the cast iron. First, I'm just gonna start with a little bit of water, and then I'm gonna put some butter in to cook them. So I think I'm just gonna do one round of those cookies in the oven, and I have about half the cookie dough left. I think I'm just gonna freeze that because we definitely don't need more cookies than what I have in the oven. And then if I have them ready to go and on hand and already portioned out, I think they'll be nice to bake just from the freezer. So we'll try that. I'm just chopping up a bell pepper here to go in. And then the remaining vegetables that I add are just gonna be frozen. I got some frozen broccoli and frozen green beans out. All right, so the meat's almost done cooking, so I'm just gonna go in with probably half this bag of frozen broccoli. And then we'll dig into our frozen green beans here from Azure. Maybe put, how much is this? A cup of those in. I think I'm just gonna do some coconut aminos with this, maybe some honey and some red pepper flakes to make kind of like a little bit of a teriyaki. All right, now we'll start to get cleaned up while that's cooking. All right, I'd say the cookies are looking good. It called to make them 2 tablespoons, but I just did 1 because I'd rather eat more smaller cookies than have a bunch of big cookies. So that's what we did. All right, I'm gonna shut the oven off. We're only doing 1 round of cookies. There's only 2 of us here, so we definitely don't need to have more than this many cookies in the house. Those will be nice to have in the freezer and pull out when we need them next. Okay, so here's what our kind of beef meal ended up looking like. We did some beef veggies. I did coconut aminos. You could also use soy sauce, some red pepper flakes, and a little bit of honey to make it kind of like a teriyaki. So let's get this plated up. Okay, we started with a couple of these gorgeous sweet potato pierogis. Then I'm just going to get a portion of this served up. And this is going to be dinner for tonight. We're heading to the game. We'll take some snacks with us, and I'm excited for a night out. We'll see you back tomorrow. All right, it is Thursday. I did not get any meat out for dinner to defrost, and cooking frozen meat is one of my pet peeves. I just hate the way that it turns out. So we're going to be doing salmon in the Instant Pot because salmon's pretty easy to cook from frozen. All right, so we're going to put half a cup of water in the bottom of the Instant Pot. I do have a tall trivet in here. We're gonna do pot in pot today, actually. Let me just drizzle. Let's do some olive oil in the bottom of here so it doesn't stick. Okay, let me go wash my hands. And then we're going to get this in the Instant Pot for just 2 minutes. Sometimes 2 minutes isn't exactly long enough for frozen salmon, but if it's not, we'll just put it in the oven to kind of maybe finish under the broiler. Next up, we're going to heat up some of our frozen mashed potatoes. You want a liquid in with that, so I'm going to use some of this chicken stock. We had this left over from canning, so it is, put it in the refrigerator, and it is gelatinous from all of that collagen that was on the chicken. So pretty nutrient dense. We'll just get that melted in there, and then we will put the mashed potatoes in with it. Okay, next we're going to put together kind of a slaw. I'm thinking with like a rice vinegar, soy, ginger dressing. You know, we used to make this like slaw with ramen noodles. It was like crunchy, and you use the ramen noodle packet for the dressing. So I'm hoping for that type of vibe. I wish I was a better chopper so I could get nice thin carrot slices, but alas. All right, so let's get some dressing mixed up here. We're gonna go in with some rice vinegar, and with some coconut aminos. We'll go with some ginger. And I'm going to do a split between some vegetable oil as well as some sesame oil. You know I'm usually an olive oil girl, but not for this. Then we're gonna sweeten that up with some honey. And then I have all these sesame seeds, so what a good use for these. And I'd say it's time to shake. Oh my goodness, that's delicious. Right, now we're gonna pour it on here. And I didn't really leave too much space in the bowl to shake, but so let me mix this around. All right, so we're going to get some of this slaw onto the plate. This is one of those days I'm really happy that I filmed myself cooking, because I think I'm going to want to make this again, and I didn't really have a recipe. Right. We have our Instant Pot salmon, 2 minutes in the Instant Pot, can't beat it. On top of that, I am going to put a little drizzle of our Thai peanut sauce that we get from Azure, just a little bit, to give it a little flavor. And then finally, we'll go in here with some of our mashed potatoes that we reheated from frozen. All right, and that is dinner for tonight. We'll see you back tomorrow. Okay, so we're having a pretty chaotic night in the kitchen. It is Friday night, so you know what that means, pizza. We have a few family members here, Reno's mom and sister, as well as my brother, so we are making 3 pizzas. We're making a white pizza, a traditional pizza, and a Cubano pizza. So we have the ingredients made here for them. I have pizza sauce made from tomato sauce from the garden. We have a white pizza sauce. I made some homemade mayo to use on the Cubano pizza. So as I'm putting those together and getting them in the oven, I will share them with you along the way. Okay, we have pizza number 1 going in. This is just our traditional pizza. We have 3/4 sausage and then bell peppers on half. Next up, we have our white pizza. Same toppings, except we added some diced tomatoes this time. We're getting the first batch of pizzas out of the oven here. We'll put the second in. Here's our Cubano pizza. We topped that with some pickles that we have from the garden. So that'll take about probably 15 minutes. We will be having dinner here very shortly. That wraps up week 4 of our pantry challenge. Drop in the comments how you think I should continue on in February. Our plan was originally to do just January, but I think we want to challenge ourselves to doing something in February, maybe just with some modified rules. So thanks for following along. We'll see you back next week.